guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tania Bright. I'm a full-time tarot reader and astrologer. I work mainly through Twitter, so check that out, link down below. In today's video, we are going to be doing a chit chat, get ready with me type video, and we are going to be talking about the new moon in Aries today. I'm so excited to be doing this video. I feel like I'm combining like my two favorite things, makeup and astrology. So yeah, let's go ahead and just jump right in. The moon is in this constant cycle of waxing and waning. So it goes from a new moon to a waxing crescent to a first quarter moon to a waning gibbous and then to a full moon. And then from the full moon we go back, we go through the waning gibbous, third quarter, through the waning crescent, and then the new moon again. So the symbolism behind a new moon is that it's a new cycle, it's a new start, it's a new beginning, it's a time to set some intentions and plant some seeds. I know my eyeliner's on. I cheated. I could not do eyeliner and talk. It just wasn't happening. So this new moon in particular is super interesting because it's wrapped up with Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Chiron. These are like the main personal planets. That's why it's going to be felt super intensely by the collective. I feel so weird talking to you guys with this thing on my face. But I think we're going to be experiencing or dealing with a lot of Mercurian and Venusian themes like romance, love, pleasure, happiness, joy. That's Venusian. And then our intelligence, our communication, our connection with people, the internet, social media, news, logic, information, that's Mercury. So these two personal planets are really wrapped up into this. And then we have Sun, which is our personality, who we are. It's exalted in the sign of Aries, so it really amplifies that energy of Aries, or the themes of Aries and Sun. They both share themes of like ourself, our ego, how we present ourselves, our authenticity to ourselves, our self-expression. So these things are also wrapped up with the new moon. So I think there's a lot of newness in this area of life. There's not a lot of new cycles in this area of life. And the tough part with that is that new beginnings come with endings. In order for something new to start, there had to be an ending. So, you know, with the theme of endings popping up, I see, you know, the themes of sacrifice, the themes of losses, the themes of having to let go, having to quit, having to cut off that friend, having to move on from that breakup. And what's super interesting about the energy this month is at the end of the month, we're going to have Pluto going retrograde in the sign of Capricorn. Remember, new moon is at 22 degrees. And then we're gonna have a full moon in Scorpio. And the themes that I just talked about are very Plutonian and Scorpio themes. Endings, new beginnings, transformation, changes, having to adapt, and also having to maybe work through the shadow sides or the shadowy themes that come up with that, like grief or heartache and loss or disappointment. So it's an interesting, I think, energy where there can maybe be a really high and a really low. And we, you know, last month had that Libra full moon happen, and we had that kite configuration happen as well. So I think this month is when we're really gonna see that play out. With these planets in the sign of Aries activating new beginnings, I think that Jupiter-Saturn crossroads energy becomes super amplified, and I think it could maybe cause some stress or overthinking, because there'll be this energy of like, what do I do? And you know, we think of the planetary ruler of energy, or of Aries, Mars, which is in Gemini, the twins. So that's also not helping the crossroads energy, or this indecisiveness, or this like, should I do this or that, or this energy of like, you know, what's new versus what's old and what has to transfer over. So I see that kind of inner conflict being a huge thing right now. How we have this little stellium in the sign of Aries, I think it's important to try to move instinctually, trying to trust your gut, trying to trust, or, you know, read the room and act accordingly. When these planets move into the sign of Taurus, I think that'll be your time to kind of, one, allow some prosperity and allow yourself to receive. This is definitely, I think, a point in time where there should be some type of, you know, harvest. There should be some type of reward. There should be some type of like, you know, something you get back from the work you put in. But you know, the sign of Taurus is also very methodical and very it likes to plan things and do things slowly, think these through. So when we are in the sign of Aries, move instinctually. That's the first half of the month, and then during the last half of the month, I think that's when we'll really get the energetic support to start to plan things out and, you know, figure out our nitty gritty. But I think right now we kind of have to trust ourselves and try something new and leap into something unknown. I kind of see that coming up for a lot of people, like having to experiment a bit with, you know, whatever house that the sign of Aries is in. There's this push to try something new. So just to talk about a few shadow things I see here, you know, with all these planets being in the sign of Aries, Aries is also like survival, instinctual type energy. So I feel like people can be really like focused on that right now, focused on their, you know, same for the sign of Taurus. It's also kind of about survival and what it is that you need. So something about this month I think is going to be, you know, focus on, do I have enough, you know, resources? Do I have all the do I have all this? Do I feel secure enough? Do I have you know, enough food? Am I, you know, taking care of my health? There's like this sort of energy here to really handle those parts of life. So I think a lot of people, you know, maybe might be finally making those doctor's appointments, finally changing up their health routines, finally trying to quit certain things, maybe that they want to quit, maybe quitting that even job that stresses them out, that relationship that stresses them out, that friendship that stresses them out. There's this energy here of self-defense, so you can really stand up for yourself during this time as well. Another thing that I think is going to be a huge focus is going to be, you know, your relationship with yourself and how strong and loyal and loving you are to yourself. I think that might be tested right now, or you might have an opportunity to really prove that to yourself, and I really like that energy. I think, you know, with Venus and Sun and Mercury being wrapped up here, all the personal planets, there's really an opportunity to repair or strengthen the relationship you have with yourself. There might even be like a call to change up your identity a bit so it is more authentic to yourself. I feel like a lot of us feel like we look like our old self. We kind of look like the energy that we were maybe in 2020 and 2019, and now it's 2021. There's a whole new vibe. We are all, I think, feeling different and feeling brand new, and we maybe want the outer self and the outer energy to match that. So I think this is a great time to like play around with your look, try new things, expand, you know, your wardrobe, your hair, your makeup, all that stuff. Play around with it and have fun and express yourself. So another thing I can kind of see here with all this Aries, Taurus energy is this emphasis on status, on maybe career, on ego. The sign of Aries can sometimes be tied with that. It's definitely more of a Capricorn thing, but we do have Pluto and Capricorn going retrograde and a new moon happening at that 22nd degree. So I still think these themes are coming up, and I can see people maybe gauging their success on like other people's success. That's kind of like a Saturnian thing, or maybe like wanting someone to like suffer the way you did, in a sense where like maybe you had to, you know, apprentice for like 3 years, but you can be really mad that someone only had to apprentice for like 1 year, and you can feel, you know, that was really unfair, or maybe you can kind of like doubt yourself a little because of that situation. So watch out for those little things, and you kind of see that popping up with this energy, and that's why I think you got to make sure you're putting that emphasis on self-love and loyalty to yourself and repairing the relationship you have with yourself, because that is really going to be the energy that offsets, you know, the ego is self-love. So one thing I want to know about Mars being in Gemini is it's kind of like scattered energy. So I think something that's really important when working with this energy is making choices, having a backbone, okay, being able to stand by what it is that you've decided. And so another thing we want to do is reclaim our energy. Perhaps we have a lot of energy scattered, like we have some energy going to the past and all the old relationships, some energy going into the future and what it is that we're planning. We want to kind of like take that back and put it into the present moment, because the present moment is really the only thing that we have control of, you know. So kind of like it's the energy of like, if you have like 10 tabs open, you gotta start closing those out. Having one, if you have like a million projects that you're doing and you have a million responsibilities, maybe cutting some of that off and narrowing down and really only putting your energy into ones that are valuable, putting your energy into the ones that give back, putting your energy into the thing that is lucrative. So maybe doing less, but you know, putting out something that has more value, putting something out that has more sustenance to it, instead of spreading your energy out and kind of like spreading yourself thin, and maybe these projects aren't really even really popping off because you're not giving it your all, and yada yada yada. So kind of sense the energy there, pull it in, focus it, and I think you will find that you go a lot further that way. I'm gonna do my lips off camera because there's no way I can chat and do my lipsticks. So when I come back, I'll probably be fully ready. So, oh my god, hey, reveal, excited. Are you guys ready to see? So here is our completed look. I wanted to keep it really simple and everyday, but I also wanted to incorporate the color red into this look because it is the color for Aries. So final thoughts on the Aries new moon. If you find yourself maybe struggling with more of these Aries like themes, like, you know, yourself and your self-worth and your public, you know, image in this world and how you present yourself and your authenticity and whatnot, if you find yourself hyper focusing on those things, try to wean off them and focus more on Libra like things. So connecting with others, fairness, patience. Whenever you have too much of something, the rule of thumb is you want to offset it with a little bit of its opposite. So, you know, same thing, if maybe you are putting too much emphasis on love and relationships and commitments and connecting with other people, you know, go to more of the Aries energy where you put some more focus on yourself and your self-worth, vice versa. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It was such a pleasure making this video. It was my first kind of like style, or it was my first video kind of trying to cover a transit, and I wanted to do it in a really fun way, so let me know what you guys think. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.